All right, everybody. Welcome to the Mike and Matt Show, brought to you by Alpha Funding. This is our episode number 1. Like I said, I feel like 1 is a lonely number. We got to do more of these. Mm-hmm. This got to be something that we don't forget to do. By the way, I'm Michael Strasser. I'm partner here at Alpha Funding, and to my right is Matt Weber. He's also my partner here at Alpha Funding. He's my friend. He's my partner. I mean, he's not that kind of partner, but he's my partner, so it's okay.
Not like there's anything wrong with that.
Matt, introduce yourself. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. Matt Weber here. And Mike, this is a long time coming.
Yeah,
we're really excited about this.
I finally decided to put it on the schedule today.
Okay. We got to make sure that we do this on a more consistent basis.
I'm going to try my best to get this out.
Okay.
I gotta, it's a busy here. This is a busy place.
Yeah.
It's not easy to sit down here and just talk to you for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we're going to share a lot of interesting topics. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to keep it light. We're going to be talking about pop culture. We're going to be talking about news, the economy, what's going on with the world, sports. Obviously, I'm a sports buff.
Yeah. But most importantly, we're going to talk to you about real estate because that's what this is. That's what we are. So Alpha Funding, for people who don't know it, we're a hard money lending company. Our headquarters, today we're in our headquarters right here in Red Bank, New Jersey. And what do we do? We're providing funds for real estate investors to fix up houses and either sell them or refinance them and rent them out to people. So that's what the core of Alpha Funding, that's what it's done for a long time now. This is our 15th year?
This is our 15th year. How long has it been for you, Mike?
I'm going into my 10th year.
Okay. I'm not there yet.
A little bit. But yeah, no, this is going to be great. And we're going to try to give you good information. We're going to try to bring you facts. We're going to try to talk to you about different things. We're going to try to make it easy. I think in our business, I sit around and I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of people talking. I watch MSNBC and Fox News and all the other stuff. Man, it's freaking complicated.
I want it to be relatable.
I know they make this complicated. It's not so hard, but it's okay. We're going to figure this out. But today on episode 1, we're just going to talk a little bit about what's kind of happened already. I know it's late February. Everybody's going to be like, why are you talking about it now? It's February. We've had a month to digest. I think it's hard to look back at the year on January 2 and be like, I'm going to tell you everything that just happened. I'm like, I don't know. You gotta take a breath, see what happens. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened in 2022. What does that mean for 2023? We're going to kind of go through some of those pieces. We're going to find our feet here because I feel like I just got thrown in the pool.
Yeah.
I haven't been on radio in a long time.
Yeah, this is a few years for me. Where I actually originated when I was in high school? I was in TV production. I used to direct a morning TV show.
Yeah, what was the name of the TV show?
AM Wired.
AM Wired. That is not the name of our podcast.
No, that was the morning show.
I know, but I'm telling you, we're not changing the name. The AM Wired does not. No.
Okay.
It's okay. We're gonna stick with Mike and Matt for now. Maybe we'll change it later.
Okay.
But not AM Wired.
Okay.
You seem like you missed that.
No.
You like it? Did you want it to be AM Wired? That's okay.
I used to be a host. I used to direct. I was the TV director. I did it all.
Triple threat over here.
I did it all.
He's a triple threat.
Yeah.
It's all right. So I think maybe we start. Let's kind of get into it a little bit. We want to talk about kind of what happened. 2022 was a weird year. I think everybody kind of looks back even further and says COVID was weird. And I'm like, yeah, but it was weird, but at some point it got really predictable, right? Like a global pandemic, everybody's home, kind of easy to figure out. But I think the hard part was to figure out what happened when everybody went back outside. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what 2022 was.
Didn't you see a lot, like you were talking about predictability, didn't you see a lot of things in 2022 that everyone was predicting and they were talking about, and it finally came to fruition in 2022?
I saw a lot of that, and then I saw a lot of big misses also. Like, I think there was a lot of people who thought the pandemic was going to be forever. I think that to me is the biggest takeaway from 22.
A lot of people also thought that the housing market was going to crash, and it did not.
That is big misses. Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about that? Let's tell me what you feel. Your top 3. What did you feel 2022? Top 3 things that really hit you or looking back now. Tell me.
2022 was everyone coming back to the workplace. I see a lot of employees are coming back to their offices. I also noticed that with the housing market, specifically the real estate, with what we work with, that home values were not going to decline. That I think a lot of people thought that home values were going to decline in 2022. And I think a lot of that is because of the inventory shortage. Back in 2008, when you were looking at the housing crash, or the housing market crash, there was so much supply that flooded the market in '08. And in 2022, there's a lot less inventory that's available. So even with the interest rates going up, I simply saw that home values were not going to decrease the way that people thought that they were. So
yeah, but let's not say they didn't not decrease, because home values are going down, and they've been going down month over month now. So that is happening. It just maybe it's not as rapid. Also depends on where you are.
Yeah,
I would say I think the West Coast is far more affected than we've been up here.
And major markets that have been overheated. If you look at Tampa Bay, if you look at Austin, if you look at San Francisco, a lot of these markets that grew at huge clips the last couple of years, year over year, we saw some of those housing markets start to cool down a little bit. But what we have seen in the Northeast, where we're based out of, is the housing market's still strong. We're still in a very strong seller market. If you are a real estate investor and you're putting out fix and flips, or if you're buying rental properties, there's still tons of room for growth. And that's something that I saw in 2022.
Anything else? What's number two? So that was number one. Number one is the big miss on housing prices. What's number two?
Inflation.
Okay, talk to me.
Things got more expensive.
I've inflated.
You've inflated?
100%.
Well, we were talking about that. we gotta get you into the gym. We gotta figure out a way where you and I can work out together. Obviously, with my trainer background, we gotta get you back into the gym.
There is no fiscal policy, I think, that's gonna deflate me right now. But tell me about inflation. What do you want to talk about?
Things got more expensive. Did you see how much it was just to buy a thing of bacon or eggs, or with gas prices? Gas prices shot up in 2022.
But they shot up, but I don't know if they were so different than they were. I think we all live in the pandemic, and gas was $1.50. I mean, 2019 gas wasn't $1.50.
Yeah, but when you're
2017, it wasn't $1.50.
I mean, we were at $5 for a gallon of gas.
I don't know how long we were at that for.
It was a little while.
I never saw it at 5. I saw it in the 4s.
Well, look at just...
But inflation was real. But we can also say, though, in real time, almost as fast as inflation happened, we had deflation. The fiscal tightening from the Fed, I think, really, it worked on a large scale. It doesn't necessarily work for housing for a lot of reasons you talked about. We can talk about more, but the things they're doing to bring inflation down are working.
Yes, they are. We've seen it with CPI.
Now, do you feel that people feel it? Do you think that, okay, we see the numbers, we know inflation is coming down, but do you think people you talk to, does your mom know inflation's down? Does she feel like it's down? Does your dad feel like it?
I don't think so.
No? Why not?
I think the only thing that people are noticing with inflation going down is maybe gas prices. I think food, prices for food, they're going to stay. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think just things are going to become more and more expensive. But that goes back to 2021 with some of the policies that our government put in place post-COVID, with the stimulus checks that they sent out and a lot of the other things that they did. I don't think we're going anywhere back to where we were pre-2020.
So you feel gas prices are coming down, but you don't think food's coming down?
I don't.
You don't think it's come down at all?
No.
Okay. I mean, I have to go check to see what a dozen eggs look like.
I hear that they have eggs that are being brought across the border. That there's smuggling of eggs currently happening in this country right now. There's a shortage of eggs, and people are smuggling eggs over the border, and they're selling it on the black market. You didn't know about this?
I didn't know about black market egg sales.
Well,
I promise.
We need to get you the.
I guess I gotta see what black market egg sales look like. I mean, I didn't know you could sell eggs on the black market. I don't know how that even works.
Listen, it's a commodity.
How do you know they're actually eggs? How do you know they're not counterfeit?
They could be.
I mean, okay. All right, so that's number 2 is inflation. What's number 3?
So we went through, it was inflation. We went through.
What's your third big thing?
In 2022?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
This is riveting stuff here. Not what I expected. I expect something.
I think balance. Things coming back. I would say things coming back more to balance. Obviously, when you saw the way that things shifted in 2021, we were really, inflation, Fed rate, increasing with the Fed rate, cost of living, I think you're starting to see a little bit of a shift back. 2022, I think you started to see a little bit of that. And I think that's what we're going to most likely see in 2023 is regaining a little bit more sense of that homeostasis.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. I'll take homeostasis, a big word. I'll take it though. So I think for me, looking back at 2022, there's a couple things that jump out, but I'm going to start with the big one. Alpha. Can't believe you missed Alpha.
Well, we're going to talk about Alpha in a second. I was talking about more in general.
Man, that's like the biggest thing of 2022.
I don't like talking about myself. I want to talk about...
You're not talking about yourself. You're talking about... It's talking about me. It's talking about the business.
Okay.
That
was a very big thing in 2022.
So Alpha relaunched, beginning of 2022. We came back. We decided to relaunch all the basically the entire platform. We decided to start all over again, and Matt and I became partners. Like we said earlier, again, not that kind of partner, but we became partners. And we brought in Dave Hansel and Mark Colazzo, also our partners in the business, and we decided, all right, let's give this another go.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is the biggest thing about 2022. Let's talk about starting a business at the end of a pandemic where you think things are going to get really, really good, and then historic economic pressure happens, and the Fed raises the rate faster than at any other time in history. It was a blast coming back. Let me just say. I don't know if I could have ever been more excited.
We did go through a lot.
Just give me more adversity. Like that's what I wanted when I started a business. But anyways, no, it was, to me, that's my number one thing is coming back and doing this. I love this. So like you asked me before, August is going to be my 10th year doing this, being in hard money, being with Alpha, 10 years of this. So coming back, getting a chance to start all over again, getting a chance to do something new. This was extremely exciting.
It was exciting. It was also full of a lot of adversity, a lot of lessons that we learned, I think, in 2022. But yeah, it was
humbling. This is hard work. This is a hard business. This is hard stuff to do. And, I think it's always so easy to look around and be like, oh, they got the money. No, there's a lot goes into this.
Hard money lending is not easy. Disclaimer to everyone out there. If you are looking to become a hard money lender, a true direct lender, it is not easy.
I think everybody says, I want to be in charge of the money. And all I want to say is, I don't want to be in charge of the money anymore. Yeah. There's a lot of work there. But something, it was a humbling experience. This was a good, I think maybe if everything was really easy when we started it, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But, sometimes having a little bit of uphill work, it humbles you. It makes you remember, like, you gotta work hard. Yeah,
because anything that's worth having, you got to work hard for. And some of the challenges that we face in 2022, we were in a place where we were trying to build this plane, this metaphorical plane, as it was taking off on the runway. And
duct tape.
Duct tape. Mike and I are both in the pilot chairs. Obviously, David and Mark, they were instrumental in a huge piece in getting this thing back up and running again. But we were in this phase of trying to build the foundation back up from the ground, and then on top of it, trying to run and operate a profitable company during this time where we had COVID in 2020 into 2021. And then in 2022, we thought everything was going to be great. And what happened? Inflation.
Let's just be clear.
Inflation. Things started to shift a little bit. We're seeing it now. And it just was not as easy as we thought it was going to be. And I'm always the eternal optimist, and I'm always thinking things are going to be great. I'm going to will it into existence. But, definitely 2022 was a very interesting year, but very rewarding. A lot of lessons learned. We went through a lot of adversity. I think there's not as many surprises now going forward into 2023. I'm sure, we'll be humbled as we always are.
Let's remember this. Episode 1, he said there's not going to be surprises. I feel like that's going to come back and haunt you.
Oh, yeah?
I definitely think whoever decides to listen to this podcast, they're going to be like, all right, Matt, episode 1, you said there's going to be no surprises. Guess what? We got surprises.
Okay.
But anyways, so November was out. My number 2 big thing here that I think I learned from everything that happened last year, everybody has like a really short fuse on expectations. I think that was like the most stark thing that I ever saw in this last year. One, big companies were like, no one's going to leave their house ever again. And I'm like, all right, that definitely didn't happen. I think people couldn't wait to get out. And I think that's like just like a big oops that everybody felt. But even in our business, I feel like there was just a lot of like missed expectations. I think, the Fed's raising the rate, and I think there was a disconnect between what's happening in the broader economic kind of look of everything, and then kind of what's happening, here where with what we do. Rates went up. They're like, what do you mean rates went up? Like before, literally the month before the pandemic started, you could say that rates for bridge loans and construction loans for us were in the 8s. Like it was possible to get 8% construction loan.
There was that period where you could get a DSCR. I don't know if you guys know what a DSCR loan is.
Educate us. Tell us what DSCR means.
It is called debt service coverage ratio. It's a rental term loan. If you're an investor and you're looking to purchase a rental property and you're holding onto that property and you want to get a long-term mortgage for it, there is a product out there that you can acquire the property and obtain financing instead of going traditional and having to go the conventional route, provide full documentation. Maybe it's in your personal name. You have to provide income verification. There's a loan that you can get, that loan qualified based off of the rents covering what your payment should be, your principal, your interest. Obviously, that's the mortgage payment, plus your taxes and your insurance. So there was a point where that DSCR loan, the rates were as high, potentially in some cases, as our bridge loan. There was a period last year where those rates
were also much lower too. I mean, you could get that same loan, I think, 4.5%, 5%.
But remember,
it got as high as
remember mid 2022 when the rates went up.
Yeah.
And the bridge loans did not. We haven't seen that effect yet, where the bridge loans weren't going up as fast. And there was a point where you could get the term loan and the bridge loan, and they weren't too far off.
No, 100%. I think what I'm talking about is the sticker shock. Yes, that definitely happened. But I think, listen, we're talking about eggs. We're talking about inflation. I think everybody was was fine to say, okay, milk's more expensive. I hate that gas is expensive, but my hard money loan, no. That thing can't go up. Nope. And I'm like, well, how does that work? And it's not the case. And I think the thing that I saw was just that kind of just like missed expectations of like, listen, this business, when I started, I'm going to sound old now, but when I started, 14 and 4 is what we charged. 14% and 4 origination points. Listen, I think the rates we saw on the way into COVID and during COVID just wasn't sustainable. It was no way. It's just like everything else. It's just like if you've got a traditional mortgage, you bought your house in 2021, you're never going to move. You got a 2 3/8 interest rate. You got a 3% interest rate. I don't know if we're ever going to see that again in our life. No. But with everything else, I think the number one disconnect that I felt coming out of last year is just everybody thinking that was just going to ride forward. And when once rates go down, they're never going to go back up. And I think that's where I find the most adversity right now. And in this year, kind of trying to convince everyone and rebuild the kind of foundation of trust and relationships that we have, while also educating and saying, listen, we're still here to help you. We're still here to give you the same product, better service. But, everything kind of had to move up with everything else. And, things are never going to stay the same. Like, hopefully it doesn't go higher from here. Maybe it goes lower from here. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's ever going to go as low as it was. It could. But what we saw was, look, I think it's hard. 10 years ago, there was no big institutional lending in our space. It was just a bunch of mom and pops who tried to shoestring together money. And what do we see? We're seeing as all the Wall Street is happening, all the institutional money is starting to fall out of the market, starting to fall out of what we do, and it's going back to that again, so rates kind of are going with it. So I think, to me, expectation setting, I think, was the hardest thing in 2022.
That you made a good point with a lot of these lenders, whether you were on the conventional side, on the institutional hard money side, ran into a lot of problems in 2022, and you're starting to see the effect of that now in 2023. We've seen it just in a short period of time, a little bit of the consolidation in the market right now.
Absolutely. So, all right, 2022, do you have anything else that you feel was really like blockbuster 2022 that you feel that we didn't talk about?
Yes.
And I know we just said we literally said 6 things. So like,
I think we should talk about some of the exciting things that are happening at Alpha Funding.
well, in 2022,
Yeah.
what happened at Alpha Funding in 2022?
So in 2022.
What don't I know? Did I not get a memo?
You might not have.
We'll have to talk about that after the show.
Okay.
All right. Tell me what happened in 2022.
So in 2022, we actually just recently launched our broker portal. Now, for many of you out there, if you're not a broker referral partner, it may not be of interest to you, but in our business, that was massive. And to have our broker partners, our referral partners now have this portal, this space that they can now go into. It's almost a carbon copy of what we use internally at Alpha Funding, and now having the ability to use this technology and leverage it as a partner with Alpha was just, it was a huge game changer for us. And we've consistently added more pieces to it in 2022. We actually just added a new update to it just recently in 2023. You now have a pre-approval application is built into the portal. So if you know someone, if you're a broker, if you're a referral partner, if you're signed up on the platform, you can now input pre-approval applications. We have quotes in the broker portal. We have a chat feature where you can chat directly with the underwriting team. So there is a lot of stuff. But that broker portal, I think that was one of the big developments for us in 2022, which I was really excited about.
Well, I just want to say to everybody, now that you just finished that, full disclosure, this is an Alpha Funding podcast, and that was a shameless self-promote. And you should expect some more shameless self-promoting, as this is an Alpha Funding podcast. Tell us more about Alpha Funding, Matt.
Well, we recently added to the team. We had some new members to the team in 2022.
Okay, who joined us?
So we had Sebastian.
Okay.
Sebastian came on board. We also had another gentleman.
One second before you pass on. So Sebastian, before he came to us, he's fresh out of college, right? He's a male model.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Well, his father comes up to me at one of our events, and this is when we were looking to expand the team and we were looking for a new team member. His father comes up to my table and he goes, I really think that my son would be a great fit for you guys. And he's like, I want to introduce you to my son. I'll get you his resume. I think he'd be a great fit. So we bring him in, and coincidentally, like you said, he was a male model. He's currently still a male model.
I was going to say, I don't think you ever stop being a male model.
Yeah.
Can you stop being a male model?
No.
I don't think you can retire.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so to everybody out there, when you come out to an event that Alpha Funding is at, make sure you find Sebastian and take a picture with him.
And try and get him to smile. Which you would think, as a model, he would be trained well to smile.
No, it's blue steel all the way.
Yeah.
No smiling.
He's like Zoolander.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. All right, who else joined the team?
We also brought on Yubi.
Okay. Tell me about Yubi.
Yubi he lives in Brooklyn. He's actually originally from Louisiana, from Kentucky.
Okay.
So Yubi was working with another group, and he saw the opportunity. We met him at a couple of the industry events that we went to and saw a great opportunity. He wanted to jump ship, and Yubi came on board in the second half of last year, and it's been a great...
Yubi has a side hustle also, doesn't he?
Yes.
What does he do?
He's a comedian.
So again, if you see Alpha, put us on the spot, put Yubi on the spot, and ask him to tell you a joke. It probably won't turn out really well, but it'll be fun for us to watch it. Mm-hmm. I like being entertained when we go out to events.
Yeah. I haven't heard the humor from Yubi yet.
Maybe we should. We're gonna do an episode just of him doing stand up.
Yeah. What
We're
kind
gonna
of
do a 15-minute cold open, just like the Tonight Show. We're gonna do like a 10-minute cold open of Yubi doing stand up.
Make me laugh, clown.
And then we're gonna roast him.
Make me laugh.
Okay, I like this. I like where this is going. I'm feeling this. I like that. We got to put everybody on the spot. But I also don't, even though we had new additions, I also don't want to forget about the people who are still on the team. Mm-hmm. So for everybody who's been following Alpha for a long time, we still have Priscilla Tort. We still have Dave Zone. We still have Pat Szymanski behind the scenes doing all the things they do. We have our underwriters. We have our back office. Mm-hmm. Did I miss anybody?
The wonderful, well, we said it before, but David and Mark.
Oh, well, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known Dave a long time. I don't know if I call him wonderful. I just call him Dave.
Yeah.
He's definitely not Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah. Double D.
Now, not everybody knows what that is. You can't bring that out.
That's an inside joke.
That's definitely an inside
joke.
No, but we definitely couldn't have done this without Mark and Dave.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken because I'm mistaken about a lot of things a lot of times. I think they might join us next month.
Yep. They are actually going to be our first guest in next month's episode of this podcast. So we're very, very excited about that. We're going to bring on Mark and we're going to bring Dave on. They're going to talk about the start of Alpha Funding. How did we actually get into this situation, and a little bit about their backgrounds and their stories, because it's very interesting to hear how Mark got to where he is today, and also Dave. They both have some incredible journeys that they'll be sharing.
So I just want to know if we're going to have to put on the explicit tag when they join us next month, because I don't know what's going to happen.
There may be some curse words that are dropped.
I mean, curse words aren't even the thing I'm worried about.
What, some of the commentary?
They're colorful. They're interesting guys.
Yeah.
Dave's lived 100 lives. Mark's lived a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Mark's a quiet man.
Mark's not always quiet. You give him a couple glasses. You give him a couple glasses of wine and a couple old fashions, and
we're gonna drink next month.
Just park yourself right next to Mark Colasso one evening with a couple glasses of wine and an old fashioned, and see what happens.
So that's the whole team, right? Did we forget anybody?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. And there's actually one really important member of the team that we actually did forget about. Right here, 218 Broad Street in Red Bank. We almost forgot about our new office.
Yes, that was a major development in 2020 or 2022, was moving to this beautiful office in downtown Red Bank. It's incredible. We're right across the street. We were going to be able to walk across the street to Artichoke Pizza every day. And
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
They put the sign up. You literally, it's a shame. You walk by it every day.
They also put up the for sale sign too.
They did put up the for sale sign. But you walk by and you see this beautiful, completely renovated pizza shop. It has the sign up, Artichoke, but there's nothing there.
You know what I call that? I call that deflationary pressure. Someone's trying to deflate me. They're trying to push deflation on me, personal deflation, by not having pizza be half a block away.
Yeah. It's a classic tease.
And we'll bet.
Classic tease. But if we do walk down the street, if you ever by the office, definitely come by. Red Bank is a beautiful area, restaurants, entertainment.
And next month there'll be new restaurants.
Yeah.
And all the ones you like, they'll close, and we'll get new restaurants again.
Have you noticed some of the new bakeries and some of the new breakfast shops that have opened up?
I can't pay attention anymore.
No?
No.
Wow, we're going to have to go
because I can't remember the names because they change every month.
There's a donut place that just opened.
We're going to change the name of the podcast every month because we're here.
Maybe.
I mean, it just seems like the right thing to do.
Okay.
You know, we're in Red Bank, and nothing lasts 30 days.
Okay.
What street are we on? Is it even still Broad Street?
I think they're going to change it.
Are they?
Yeah.
I figured they were. Got to change everything around here.
Yeah.
No, but I think moving into Red Bank has been good. It's like, we've been a lot of different offices. We had the old bank in Lakehurst, and that's no longer there. And we all cut our teeth there, I think. Down the street in Shrewsbury, and now finally here. That's my 10 years has been over those three places, and this is a nice place to call home. Everybody needs a place to call home, and everybody needs a good office to call home. Mm-hmm. It's the second place. It's the second place you'll be the most in the world.
I agree.
Yeah, it's good being here. All right. So we're gonna move into 2023. I just want to make sure there was nothing else in 2022 that we missed. I mean, we probably missed a lot. I'm gonna get a lot of feedback here saying we missed everything, but I don't have enough time to talk about everything.
Well, we could cover pop culture. We could.
Well,
cover
I meant more.
sports.
I meant more real estate. I don't know. Did we
real
miss?
Estate.
Yeah. What else did we miss? I guess listen. I think I don't want to beat over the head what hasn't been said already. And I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't want this to be too complicated. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's easy to overcomplicate it. There's macro pressure and micro pressure and this pressure and these things and this change. And I don't think that's why anybody cares. I just want to know, can they buy in our business? Can they buy something at a good price, fix it and sell it and make some money off of it?
And can they?
Yes. I don't think it's ever going to change. I wrote a letter to everybody at the end of the year, and I sent it out, and it has one of my favorite quotes in it. I think it's Will Rogers said it, and it's just that real estate is the thing that nobody makes anymore, and it's just, where else are you gonna go? Like, everything's going to look different in 20 years. Everything's going to look different in 50 years. But like, we're not making more land. Not more of it. Whatever's here is here already. So yeah, do I think that there's opportunity? Absolutely. There's always going to be opportunity. This business. So I remember as we're going to move into 2023, we're going to talk a little bit about it, but this is my way of getting there is like, I remember my now wife asked me like, what happens when the music stops? What happens when things start going bad? Because when I started, it was just a couple years after the 2008 crash. She goes, well, you're in real estate. What's going to happen? What's going to happen that happens again? And I said, it's going to be okay. You know, real estate is the one thing that reinvents itself constantly. And it's the one place where you can always do something different. And I look at a lot of our longtime borrowers, a longtime clients of Alpha, and they've reinvented themselves dozens of times. You know, nothing stops them. You know, yeah, you have some hard times, different things happen. You have a 2008 crisis, you have a COVID crisis, but then they get right back out there. They buy something, they start flipping, they start doing their thing all over again. And I think that's just real estate itself. Like, you know, you go back to the beginning of America and, you know, the richest people here are people who bought real estate. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's changed.
The one common fact about real estate is that it consistently goes up over time. And that's the one thing I think many people need to understand is that if you're going to get into real estate, if you want to buy real estate, don't waste any more time, especially right now in the market that we're in. Invest in real estate, buy it, because it's only going to go up. And the one thing that's really driving it, and what has really driven it over the last couple of years, is inflation. If you look at a graph and you look at how inflation has driven values up, you look at real estate values and how they've been driven up over the last 5 years, you could even expand this over the last 30 years, you're going to notice that as home values have gone up, inflation has been the major driver for that. So even if it's just a short-term fix and flip, if you're building a new construction home, you're selling it to an end buyer that wants to live in it, buy real estate. Even if you're not going to make a ton of money right now, that's fine, because you're going to make more money eventually. So the thing is, the worst thing you can do is sit on the sidelines and miss out. And you know, you're absolutely right, Mike.
All right, yeah. So let's take that a second. So let's talk about 2023. So now we've talked about, you know, 2022 and kind of what it was, what it wasn't, you know, different problems. So you asked, you know, I feel like 2023, I feel like so much good's about to happen. What do you think? What do you think is going to come for us in 2023?
I think we are right at the top of the bubble, this little cusp from 2022.
Let's not call it a bubble.
Not a bubble?
I think that's dangerous.
Right.
It's dangerous to call it a bubble.
This little hump, this
okay.
Top of the curve, as you would say. I would say that we're right at the top where you're going to start seeing values maybe go down slightly. I'm not talking about 20%.
They have to. They have to. It's
I know, but we're not going to go down 20%. We're not going to go down 10%.
Well, I think it depends on where you are. I'm going to argue with you.
You're regional.
I think it depends on where you are. You could see it, but overall, I think
in most markets, if you look at absorption rate, in most markets, we are sub 4.0 on absorption rate. I don't know if you guys know what absorption rate is. It simply means
educate. Come on, tell us
if you have a certain amount of homes that are listed, let's just say the number was 30, and there were 30 homes that were to be sold and were purchased in that same month, the supply that was listed on the market, you had the same amount of homes that were bought. There would be no more homes that next month unless homes were listed and put on the market. So that would be obviously a 1% absorption rate. You wouldn't have any more left. It would be a 1 month absorption rate. Right now, we have up to 4. In some cases, you're seeing 3, 2, and even 1% absorption rates with a lot of these different markets. So yes, in the San Franciscos of the world, the Austins, the Tampas, some of these markets that were growing at a clip that I think were unsustainable when we were in that 19, 20, 21, all those years, I don't think we're going to see a huge drop off in home values. Now, are they going to go down a little bit? I think they're going to go down a little bit, but I don't think they're going to go down a lot. And I think also with the inflation, as inflation is starting to calm a little bit, I think you're starting to see things starting to come back to normal. This last year, 2022, we had to deal with a lot with inflation, whether it was just home affordability, cost of living, everything just went up. Gas prices and everything. I've noticed gas prices are coming down. I think you're going to see inflation start to calm down a little bit. So what I think is, and I was talking about this earlier, is I think it's this shift back to center. And I think you're starting to see that a little bit. And in 2023, I think we're going to get back to a little bit more balance where we're not going to get, like you were saying, we're not going to get back to a 3% or 2% interest rate, but maybe we're going to sit and we're going to, settle in around maybe 5 or 6%. And I could see that happening. And we're seeing it right now. If you're seeing some of the conventional rates that are out there, we're not in the 7s. We actually, we got very, very close where I personally, Mike and I, we would sit there and we would chat and we would think about, are the rates going to go up into the 8s? Are they going to go up into the 9s? Are we ever going to hit 10% for the conventional 30-year? And now you're seeing it somewhat steady now in the low to mid 6s. And I think that's where we're going to probably see that. Maybe it comes down a little bit lower.
I mean, that's natural though. I mean, you look at the average over 30 years, 6s sound right. And I know I think my thing for 2023, my prediction is, I don't know if those is a prediction. It's more of like, I got to will this into existence. It's like, I was saying before about expectation setting. I think people's expectations have to come back to reality. COVID's not going anywhere, but we're not locking down everything again. And I think the expectation has come back to, like interest rates are going to look normal. And I think knowing what normal is going to be a big deal, right? Everyone's going to have to remember what that is. But also I think, just expectation about what's out there and where we're at. I think that's always my problem. That's always the thing I think when I talk to people, when I talk to prospective investors, it's always like, people are telling them things and they don't really know what's going on. I think it's about getting to that place where it's like, this is where we're at. We have low inventory. Deals are hard to find. Right? Foreclosures aren't what they were before, which was a lifeline to our clients. Rates definitely weren't what they were for the last 2.5 years. And I think it's coming to that point of saying, okay, I'm going to have to fight for some of these deals. I'm going to have to find them, right? I have to have good expectations going into these deals, which I think is missing a little bit. When I talk to some borrowers and they want, they're trying to do X, Y, and Z, just a little miss on that expectation piece of what properties are worth or what they're gonna net from a deal, or how easy they're gonna find the next one and all these other pieces. And I think that's my big thing for 2020. And it's not a prediction. That's almost like we all have to find that. Even us on the lending side, like we got to find that too, right? We got to say, okay, this is where 2023 is gonna go. And I think it's going there already. I mean, I feel like volume, people are doing more deals. I think that's the most important thing. And there's always deals to be done.
Absolutely.
Always. I don't think you're never going to find a deal.
What do you think is going to happen in 2023? Do you think we're going to see a lot more foreclosures coming to the market?
Absolutely. I feel like, the governments, not just where we are, but I think around the country, are realizing like they can't hold up foreclosures anymore. I mean, because yes, as much as we want to keep people in their houses, I mean, I don't want to throw anybody out, but I think it hurts people who own these properties, not lenders. I'm talking just landlords, right? So like something's got to give, right? And I think we're starting to see it. Like I'm hearing the little trickles. Foreclosures are up. Sheriff sales might be starting to trickle up here. I think the second half of the year, we're going to see a lot more of that because this stuff takes time. But I think the roadblocks are coming down. I think we're going to start seeing a whole lot more of that channel. And I think that's going to inspire a lot of people to feel like good things are happening in this segment of the market.
What about technology? Do you think technology is going to play a big part in some of these foreclosures, some of these properties that are coming back to the market?
Absolutely. So I personally feel that every time something bad happens, and I'm going to use that kind of like a generic term, but like, you look at 2008 and you look at, okay, what happened after that? We got a lot of new technology around real estate. You look at all these different moments in time as we do different things, we get a lot of new technology. So I definitely think, whenever there's a little bit of a pullback, I think that always inspires people to make new things. So I definitely think there's new technologies that are starting to percolate and that haven't gotten here yet that are totally going to change the real estate game. So yes, 100%, I believe technology, because people, they invest in new technology less when everything's like amazing. Because like what everything's rolling. Why are you going to change something now? But these are the moments I think when the biggest changes happen. So yeah, I 100% believe there's going to be new technology. Okay. All right. So now let's move on from 2023, and we'll talk more about it. I mean, look, this is a long year, right? This is only February. Yeah. We're going to talk more about what we see as we go. That's the beauty of the podcast. I don't have to tell you everything that's going to happen. We're watching and learning as we go. So there's going to be a lot more for us to talk about as we go. And, also this is our first kind of episode. We want to make sure people like us.
Yeah.
I don't know if they like me. Do they like you?
I think you've been pretty.
I don't know.
You've been nice.
I have bad jokes.
We'll work on those.
Prepare for more bad jokes, everybody. Some of the things I just want to touch on before we start the wrap up. Places you can find us.
Yeah.
In
so
March.
What I would definitely do is definitely follow us. Mike and I, we both have our Instagrams, Strass and
at Strass on Instagram.
Yep, and I'm at Trainer Weber.
Also at Alpha_funding.
Yes,
that's a good place to go.
Definitely follow us at Alpha_funding. We have a Facebook, LinkedIn page. You can always check us out on our website, alphafunding.com. We do have some events that are coming up in the next month, so definitely take a look. And keep an eye out on March 8th. We have the NJ Resin.
I'm so excited for this. I'm happy you started with this.
It is the relaunch of probably one of the best events. This is the event that when I first got started with Alpha, this was the first real estate networking event that I ever went to. I wasn't even a member of Alpha. This is, I think, David and Mark, we're going to have them on next episode, and they'll probably talk about how they threw us into the fire. What does it say? Baptism by fire.
I did the same thing. I started, I had to go to NJRESN.
Yeah, and this was the place where a lot of our team members went for the very first time. And it's an event like no other. Number one, there's an incredible gentleman that runs the event. He has an amazing team. The crew that comes and supports the event and kind of documents it. It is an incredible event, a ton of people, great networking opportunities.
Some of the best real estate investors in New Jersey have come out of that place.
People come from other states just for this event. I've been to them many times where they're like, I drove 2 hours just to be here for this event. Great food, buffet dinner, which I love, education usually, and you're going to be able to meet maybe, at least 5, 10, depending on how many people sit at your table, you'll be able to meet and network with some other real estate like-minded individuals. And this is at the Westwood in Garwood, New Jersey. It starts at 7 o'clock, I believe. I'm just double checking here. Yep. It's from 6 PM to 10 at the Westwood in Garwood, and you can RSVP. We'll be putting it out. You can also get your tickets at njresin.com if you want. It's just a one-time door fee. So normally NJ Resin, they would have a membership option that you would pay for a full year in advance, but you can just pay for the one-time ticket door fee. They're just trying to make it the path of least resistance. They want to get you there, get you in the door, not having to feel like you have to commit to something too much. It's a $40 door fee. And
it's going to be a great night.
We're going to have the entire Alpha team there. Some of the most successful.
I have a challenge for everybody who might or may not be listening to this first episode. Because everybody is going to be, the entire Alpha team is going to be a NJRESN. I'm going to challenge somebody to make sure they get a picture with Seb.
Okay. And if you can get him to smile, I will get you one of these sweatshirts. You tell me what size you want. You're writing that down?
I am writing that down.
So if you can get a picture with Sebastian, our male model, and you can get him to crack a smile, we'll get you one of our Alpha swag.
So you need to post it with the hashtag Alpha Podcast and hashtag Seb Smiled.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
Hashtag Seb Smiled.
I want to see who can find Seb to get a picture with him and who can make him smile.
Okay.
Tickling, I don't know. I don't know how we are about touching, but try not to tickle him. You're going to have to do it without touching him.
Another event that I'm very, very excited about is we have been very active in the Hispanic real estate professional community. So we've been really working with the Latino Hispanic real estate professionals, and there's a group called NAREP. So there's a installation gala. Well, this is actually, I'm saying this is the NAREP gala. This is the Latino Chamber of Commerce installation gala and fundraiser. This is on March 23rd. It's at 7 p.m. It's an open bar. There's a dinner. There's going to be DJ, live entertainment. The ticket price is $150, and it's at the Sapphire Grand. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. So if you're able to attend, we'll be there. So that's another fantastic event.
And we'll follow up next month with other places you can find us. So we're going to get there.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. This was fun.
Yeah. Baseball season's almost here, Michael.
All right, everybody. This was a good time. I really enjoyed being able to talk to all of you on the podcast. But no, this was really a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing this again with you next month.
Yeah. Why can't we talk about the Yankees? Why can't we talk about baseball?
Everybody's listened to us for a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's already been a while.
All right.
Let's let them go. Let them digest episode 1.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Like we said, find us on all the things, alpha_funding on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, alphafunding.com on the website. You can always find Matt and me on any of those things. Ask us questions, ask the team questions, anything you guys need at all. Funding related, not funding related. But this was a lot of fun.
It was.
I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Mike Strasser. Again, this is Alpha Funding. This is Matt Weber. We're going to talk to you again next month.
Have a good one. Take care, everyone.